Howdy, and welcome back to the channel. I'm sure you know about Doom. Well, I have recently completed the campaign for Doom the Dark Ages, and in today's video I wanted to talk about it, along with the Doom series in general. Doom the Dark Ages is the most recent installment in the series, and as you can tell by the title of this video, I didn't think it was the best by any means. After showing the game to a friend of mine, and of course playing through it myself, I felt like I should put my thoughts into a video to better form my opinions. Last note before we get into the meat of this video, I by no means think this is a bad game. I had some fun with it. I like how the story was told, and really the only kind of game I would count as a bad game is a game I can't physically bring myself to complete or really play in any capacity. I am also of course not attacking anyone who might have this game as their absolute favorite Doom game or just game in general. With that out of the way, I'm very 50-50 on the gameplay of the Dark Ages. I think the shield is fine, it's neat, and I like how it makes you think differently about how you kill demons. I also like its design and how it's also a chainsaw, and I think the runes that you can get for it are okay. One thing I don't like is how Doom felt it was necessary to follow in the footsteps of literally every other AAA game nowadays and have its combat mechanics do what God of War 2018 did and have, oh, you have the ability to dodge and parry attacks, and there are some attacks that you have to parry and some attacks you have to dodge. I think it's okay in games like God of War, but I don't like how games like Doom and Spider-Man 2, for example, are copying its homework when they already have some nice and unique combat that felt good for how their games are. Now Doom. When I am tearing through the hordes of demons, the literal legions of hell, the last thing I want to think about is, an enemy is flashing green, I better put up my shield to try to parry it. What I want to be thinking is, I am the Slayer. The only thing they fear is me.
That they fear, not man or his armies. They fear the mark of the beast.
I feel like partly thanks to the addition of the shield, the player feels more squishy. I'm not 100% sure how to phrase it, but there were many moments where I was getting rushed by half a dozen heavy and super heavy demons that I felt like there was very little to what I could do other than spray and pray as they pushed me around and cover my screen in effects. I'm not saying that the game should be shoot once, kill everything that might oppose you. If I wanted that, I would play on baby easy game journalist mode. I just feel the balancing for some of the enemies and how they behave tagged along with all the changes they made to the flow of combat doesn't work that well. Speaking of the flow of combat, I liked how the combat in 2016 and Internal were where the Slayer was more mobile and devastating. As a result, he felt more like a walking army that would overwhelm the enemy. Doom is the power fantasy game. Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce,
We will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
I would say that the Dark Ages forgot about this, but they clearly didn't, having referenced it when Doom Guy comes back from the dead.
They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear until it is done.
Windows, what is this? Kill yourself, man! Ah! Oh my god. I'll save the comparisons for later. The last thing I want to touch on for the gameplay is the maps. id Software decided to have this game be more grounded and open compared to the previous games in this trilogy. Many people like this, which is fair, but I personally am not a fan of it. But because of this change, they also made many of the maps for the game big-ass areas to explore. I love big areas for you to explore in video games. Open world games are one of my favorite game genres. But I think the Dark Ages is weakened by this because Doom hasn't had big areas to explore as its main focus. It's usually been devastate the demon population first, then exploration of some areas with many secrets second. With exploring these big areas as a focal point, I always found myself killing all the demons, then slowly wandering around the area to find secrets and upgrade materials. This type of gameplay would have heavily benefited from some more movement abilities other than goddamn running. because unless there are demons or specifically placed set pieces, you can't do anything to go faster.
Oh. You're telling me I can't just shield charge?
No, it has a slight cooldown.
No, like, I mean, I can't just, like, shield charge.
No.
Like, I have to be locked onto something?
William, you're talking... Did you read my script? You're just going over what I said. Unless
I mean,
there
we are very stink-minded.
Yeah. Unless there are specific set pieces or demons around, you can't move faster than a sprint. Oh, I forgot about the dragon and mech parts of this game, which makes sense because they were really nothing to write home about. I thought these parts of the game were going to be cool as hell when they were announced, but personally they feel kinda rushed and lacking in things for you to do, especially with the very few times you get to use them. Like, I don't think it would have made the time or the mech segments as best as they could be, but I feel like it would be way better if they let you use the mech chain gun as a permanent weapon, and you could alternate between that or the melee combat.
Yeah.
Instead of just having it be a limited time, and then you lose it after its required segment is over.
Also, like, a glory kill in this thing would have been cool.
It sure
but
would have.
Also, I get it. These are supposed to be, like, Hell's tanks. But, like... What the fuck?
What?
These, like, tanks.
I don't know.
They're just, like, sitting there.
They're just set pieces, William. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if you're gonna have them shoot, at least make them do something. I get minute detail doesn't matter to you as much as it does to me.
No, it does matter to me. It's just for things like that, it literally does not give... It doesn't matter. Now let me better explain what I was trying to say here. But William agreed that he would help me record this game since it's poorly optimized and doesn't run super well on my computer, because I don't have a 5090 1 million gigabytes of RAM, with the only price that I have to pay being that I have to listen to his opinions on this game. When I say that it doesn't matter, I do agree that having the tanks do more than just kind of take a couple of shots at you than nothing else would be awesome. However, the mech and dragon parts and other sections of this game feel so underwhelmingly terrible that I feel like in order to have that level of polish even be thought of for this game, you should have the actual gameplay part that you play be fun and actually mean something in order to have the polish be appreciated by the player. Now for the music of the game. I feel like this is a relatively big disappointing part of the game. In my opinion, the songs themselves are fine really. The biggest disappointing factor is that Mick Gordon didn't make the music, all because of how he was treated while making the music of the previous games. What would possibly go through the minds of whoever the hell are responsible to take the man that gave you the most memorable game soundtracks of all time and not treat him like a golden goose? He should have been treated like a god. He might as well be a god, shooting dew from his fingertips. He's so goddamn good. Instead, they were like, since we treated the last guy like crap, I guess we gotta hire Finishing Move Incorporated? Apparently these guys have made music for quite a few games, but as someone who has played through Doom the Dark Ages, I don't think I could name you one track that stood out to me or was memorable in any way. I'm not saying these songs are bad, they're alright, but for the newest Doom game, this isn't what it should have been in my opinion. Just for comparison, if you were to ask someone who have been playing these games for a memorable track from Doom 2016, they'd probably say BFG Division. It's like the most popular song from that game. From Eternal, I don't know what the most popular song is, probably The Only Thing They Fear Is You, but I'd personally say Meat Hook. If you were to ask me for any song I found memorable or was just awesome for the game, I wouldn't be able to answer because they all just felt kind of the same. I like the theming of this game, but I feel like it helped bring the game's music down from being the best it could be. With 2016 and Eternal's music, it has songs that made you feel the anger, rage, and fury that the whole game is trying to convey. And all that feeling is more easily conveyed through how much passion that Mick Gordon put into his music. All the work and thought that he put into making it as perfect as he could possibly make it for the games that he worked on.
This really needs its own unique approach.
And them getting rid of him is just ridiculous. There's a great video on his YouTube channel called The Heavy Metal Choir or something like that for Doom Eternal. I'll have it on the screen. It explains how he got the people together from all different metal bands to help make the music for Doom Eternal be as perfect as it can possibly be.
The idea of taking a heavy metal choir and having them do the chant for the Slayer was amazing.
And the best way that we figured out how to do it would be to put out an open call and invite heavy metal singers to apply to join this awesome ensemble of badass.
And there were people there talking about how much of an inspiration Doom was for their bands and how much they looked up to what they were making music for now. It's amazing.
This is like a really classical franchise, especially within the rock and metal community. Like everybody just looks up to this game.
We want the whole game to feel like a heavy metal album experience.
I don't think we can possibly get anything remotely similar to that for Doom the Dark Ages. I'm serious, go watch this video.
Everything works together. Sound effects, music, gameplay, and all these things come together not as separate elements, but as one cohesive unit.
I had to be part of this, man. You kidding me? I grew up with Doom, and I got to play a little bit on the Atari Jaguar. I bought every edition, one of my favorite games of all time, and I love the soundtrack.
We need more music producers for games that make things that they want to make and that they're proud of, and that the people that made it will be happy to have other people experience and influence.
To be able to contribute to something that might get people into metal.
To me, it's a big honor.
Demons are here to destroy all you know and love, all of humanity, and you are the sole man here to stop it. The Dark Ages music had energy, but not the same energy that the previous game's songs gave. Oh, and before I move on to the next part of the video, why are there no glory kills? There's the mere concept of glory kills. When you're specifically above some enemies, when they're in the stun state, you can go and sometimes saw them in half or crush their heads. But otherwise, when you're grounded, which is what the game wants with this gameplay, you just like punch them or something. And this can be iffy because melee attacks have charges that recharge over time, and I found myself doing melee instead of a glory kill several times because there's little difference between the two. They're not even called glory kills in this game, they're executions. One of the best things from the modern Doom games that made you feel powerful, and they ruined it. This isn't something that I will be okay with anyone thinking is good. There's literally zero reason they should have changed this. The story of Doom games were never truly the biggest part of the game. The main thing the player wants to focus on is demonic genocide. I feel the story of this game should have at least helped pick up some of the slack because of the mediocre gameplay, but it doesn't do this. Along with the rest of the game, I feel the story is alright, which is fine for a Doom game. It's just while the previous games had an okay story and amazing everything else, this game has everything be kind of eh. I'm going to try to keep this segment brief, mostly because I can't remember a lot outside of the major story plot points. This game's story has you go through a demonic invasion of Argent Denor, and the Slayer, under the control of the Makers, is sent to help fend off the forces of Hell. Azric, the Prince of Hell, is attacking the Argenta to get to the Heart of Argent, a powerful relic that would give him unimaginable and unstoppable power. After killing many demons, the Slayer and Azric eventually come to find the Heart of Argent isn't in the little Kinder Surprise egg thing, but instead the essence of a god that Commander Thera has imbued within her. After stealing Thera, and thus her power, the Slayer fights his way through the Cosmic Realm, a strange eldritch dimension, and sacrifices his life in order to escape the dimension and get back to stopping the forces of Hell from prevailing. After the Slayer remembers he's too angry to die, he gets resurrected and goes to confront the Prince of Hell, now far stronger thanks to absorbing the Heart of Argent. The Slayer has difficulty fighting Azric and then suffers severe damage when he is stabbed by him. Then Azric makes the one mistake demons should never make and kills the Slayer's pet. This is then followed by the Doomslayer beating Azric's ass until he rips the Heart of Argent out of him. Thera and the Slayer invade Hell, and the Slayer kills the witch and bashes Azric's head in with his flail. And throws it to the forces of Hell, causing their retreat. The game ends with the people of Argent Denor reassured by Thera that they should feel safe, knowing that the Slayer is out there. Like I said, the story is alright. I don't think it's terrible, but it definitely doesn't win any awards in my opinion. I like that the Slayer had a single line consisting of one word. I love the medieval theme of the game, but I feel that they didn't explore it to its full potential. I like what they did to make the Slayer and all his gear fit the theme. A friend and I personally like the idea of just shooting big ass metal spikes at enemies, but I'm a bit 50-50 on the change of the BFG to a crossbow. Like, yeah, it helps fit with the theme, but I think it would be cool or funny if the BFG was still the BFG and just an overwhelmingly powerful gun in this medieval setting. It wouldn't even be weird because you still have a double barrel shotgun and a plasma gun in this game. But it's whatever. One thing I don't like about the guns in this game is the sound design of them. Most of them feel weak as hell, like they're lacking the good kick that would turn a demon into a fine red mist. I especially feel like the super shotgun sound design is terrible because of this. Just feels like I'm shooting nothing. No big boom to actually make it feel super. To bring things into a close, Doom the Dark Ages is certainly one of the Doom games of all time. I personally don't think it's that great of a Doom game, especially when compared to the previous titles. It has a plethora of great ideas like the Dragon and the Atlan mech, but falls short when it comes to making them due to the lack of effort or passion that was put into it, with the same going for other aspects of the game like the soundtrack or how the combat feels. Again, I don't think this is a bad game by any means, but especially for $70, I think the Slayer should be treated with a better demonic slaughtering experience than what was delivered. I'm glad y'all stayed for the whole video. Subscribe to see more, and I hope to see you again soon.